Okay, so let's first give you a small introduction. So we are basically Khyaathi. So we can also call as T Cloud. So Khyaathi is a new branding that we are doing for the T Cloud, basically for specifically for courses related to different kind of courses that we have. Okay, so if you see in the internet space, you find it as T Cloud or Khyaathi. It's the same. Okay, so just a FI for that. So that was the only thing I wanted to say about our branding. But apart from that, let's go back to our thing. Yeah, it's not a .com. It's not again local. It's local, right? Yeah. Let me open one more page. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we are good now. So this is our Python stuff. So I'll be walking you through this today. Okay, and let me just open my editor for a minute. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we can put it somewhere here. So before I start the day, or before I introduce myself, so let me be very clear. I'm not going to do any magic for you today. It's going to be very simple. I'll be setting up your expectations for the course. So if you have any specific queries, just let me know. Okay. So starting first, I'll start with something very generic. Okay. So all the default questionnaire that we always have, I'll just start with this. Coming to the classes, we have online, classroom, and offline classes. So I'll tell you what is offline all about in a minute. So online classes is basically for people who cannot see me. People cannot see me. You can hear me. You can see my screen. And for the classroom people, it is basically you see me. That is the only difference. But if not, the content and everything is going to be the same. And I'll tell you what is an offline in a minute. Okay. Now coming to the duration of the course duration is going to be good around 45 hours. So when I talk about 45 hours, this duration of 45 hours is going to span across 3.5 to 4 weeks. Okay. So when I say the duration is about 45 hours, which spans around 3.5 weeks to 4 weeks. So the reason, this is not my first batch. This is my 62nd batch, or your batch is going to be my 63rd batch. So I have seen enough people like the amount of time that they actually put into. Like once after 3.5 weeks, you kind of become non-focused, or you cannot take any more into your heads actually, right? So basically, what I tend to do is I tend to clear it off in 3.5 to 4 weeks. So if you span it around, it is exactly 1 month. Okay. So this is the duration. So coming to the notes, okay. So coming to the notes, what we do is we don't give you any hard copies. The complete notes, whatever we give you is through Google Drive. Okay. So we share you the notes and everything through Google Drive. We have the running notes for you. So running notes is something that we share over the GitHub locations. So GitHub is something which we actually upload our notes, and you can very well see from there. So there is nothing like we hide something from you or nothing like that. So whatever I do on a day-to-day basis, that is something available to you online. The minute you go out of the class, it is available to you. You can just open your notes and you can just look into that. Okay. So over the Google Drive, so we have something called as the notes. Like if you basically check my notes here, if you have noticed or not, this is my notes actually. So basically for the people who attend my class, I don't tell them to make any notes, because what I've done is I have taken the pain of making the notes. So if you basically look at any of these notes, so like say if this is a chapter that you're talking about, so if you basically open this, see this is the chapter that we are talking about, right? So the whole thing is available to you. So only thing that you see here is everything is written. Okay, so this is also something which I basically share across to you. This is like if I show you some PPT, I don't transfer you that PPT that is not there. That is also shared across. Okay, so that is what we do in through Google Drive. So rest all whatever I teach in the class is shared to you as a running notes. Okay. Apart from that, one of the things is I don't basically only teach. I do work. Okay, so which means I do come on time and I go on time. Okay, so that is something very very important. So uh, whatever, now the biggest challenge is most of the cases people do ask me like, okay, I have a particular doubt at a particular point of time. How do I approach you guys? Okay, now I say one thing that most of the things what I teach in the class is very much recorded from the day one. So if you see the demo class itself is recorded. Now you may ask why on the earth I'm recording the demo class, right? So whatever the commitment I'm giving to you on a demo class, that will be there till the end of the session. So at some point of time, if I say I gave you something that I'll teach you something and I didn't teach you, or we said that we'll give you some service and we didn't give you, you can always go back to the demo video. So that is the reason we are recording the demo video too. Okay. Now, coming to this, if you ask me, apart from this, so coming to the question, like if I have a doubt, how do I approach you? So we have a group called as LAMP tutorials. So the LAMP tutorials is basically for everyone. So coming to my pupils, they are not basically only from a particular location; they are across the globe. So I do teach in Texas for the people around Texas. I do teach across the globe actually. If you talk about, so all my students are basically in this group only, LAMP underscore tutorial. So basically there are good around 800 such people that are basically part of this group. And what we tend to do is whenever they post a question, we reply them over. So most of the time they're running notes, whatever queries you have, you ask in the classes and everything. But apart from that, even after your batch is done, okay, you can always get in touch with us through the LAMP underscore tutorials. So what else? Okay. So apart from this, through the groups, we do few other things like we post jobs. Okay. Now see, we actually have good around 800 people. Now, not everybody is looking for a job, or not everybody is looking for knowledge only. Like there are a few people who are recruiters, managers, everybody. So they keep on posting the jobs. So whenever we get some jobs, we directly post it across. So that is what we have been doing over the last 3 years. Okay. And apart from this, we also do a couple of other things like we do seminars. Now, see, teaching everything in a class is not something fun. Okay, so if you think that I can teach you everything in the class, that is a foolish thought, right? So you cannot teach everything in the class. So what we do is we do seminars. So how do seminars work? So our current threshold is we have put 12 seminars over a year. Means monthly we will do one seminar. That is the basic threshold. So every month we make it a point that we pull somebody who is good in some areas and we tell them to deliver. So wherever you are in Hyderabad, you are in Bangalore, you are in Pune, you are in Texas, you go anywhere in the world, if you have internet connection, you can attend those seminars. Those seminars are pre-planned, where we send the links to you and you just open them and you can just work from there. Okay, so that's what we do in the groups. Right. Now coming to that, we have something called projects. Okay, so coming to the projects, believe me, we give you so many resources that you can sit for the next 5 to 10 years and keep on doing them. Okay, but you don't get that much time basically. So what we have done is we have reduced it down to 4 projects, or maybe more than that. So we have lot of projects, but during the sessions I can teach you 4 mini projects. Okay, 4 mini projects, one, like you can say, one real-time kind of a project. Okay, see, there is nothing like a real time or something. Whatever you do, if you can apply your knowledge, see, you are only going to go and do the code there. There's nothing like real time. Okay, so if you can write a code which is very much to the point, which is very much crisp, very much neat, that is a good real time project. Okay, so we have 4 mini projects, one real project, and on top of this, we have one more thing that we basically look for is. I'm just missing on that. Okay. Uh, Okay, let me get back to this. I forgot on that. Okay, so when I remember it, I'll get back. Okay, so coming to the videos, yeah. Now coming back to the videos, now this is the fun part. Every class that I teach you, I keep a record of that. So what is the reason for that is, like some people say that, okay, Santosh, your class was superb. You did everything so good. You didn't see anything. You just made the code look really awesome. When I go back home, I see that I'm not able to recollect what you told. I make all the mistakes in the world. Why is that so? Or maybe I want to hear your class again. Now that is one of the challenges which we have seen from the previous batches, where we have taken a demo for everything. Okay. Now, so what we do is we provide you a stream of the video. What do you mean by stream of video? Means we give you the video. We don't share you the video, because if you give you videos, you know what is going to happen the next minute. So we don't give you the videos. We give you stream of videos, which means it's a fun thing. So let us say today you joined the particular class, you didn't understand the concept. You can come back, you can go through that video. So it could be anything like giving the video online is something on first come first serve basis. Like we need to have slots, we need to have systems through which we give it. We have the facility, but let us say if 10 people come and say like I need 10 systems to log in, so we cannot give you 10 systems. We have a restriction there. So what you can do is you can always come down here, and we give you some systems where you can sit and you can go through those videos. That is one thing. So you can do it any point of time. You come on a weekend, you come on a Saturday, Sunday, you do whatever. Okay, so that is how we do it. Okay. So that is stream of videos. Apart from this, so I keep on repeating this again and again. Stream of videos means we are not sharing you the videos. So I'm repeating it again so that it's recorded again and again, right? So and apart from this, when I talk about the offline videos that you see in here, this is the offline videos, right? Now there are people. Let's say today it is raining, right? Now I say like Santosh, it is raining. I cannot make it. So how do I do it? So it's fine. Okay, I have one more option for you guys. I'll come in a minute. But for the offline sessions, this is for people who cannot attend face to face, neither they can make online classes. There are people who don't have a flexible timings. So obviously true, right? At a time when you are trying to learn a lot of things, you don't have time for yourself, but still you want to learn because of the industry needs. So for those people, the offline videos are very fun, right? You can just go and we give you those stream of videos. You can check it at any point of time. But how does it benefit the people who are going for online classes and classroom classes? So suppose say today it rained and you didn't turn up, or you cannot make an online session also. So you still have those offline videos. That is what you can go to the stream of videos. So at no point of time you're going to miss any class. That is the fun part about it here. Okay. Now, apart from that, there is one more thing that we say is 3 online classes free. Okay. What is this 3 online classes free? Now, I believe that once in a week you feel a bit lazy. All right. You don't feel like going anywhere. At least I do feel the same. I don't feel like going to office. I don't feel like coming to classes. These all kind of irritative stuff happen to people, right? They don't feel like coming anymore. So for those kind of people, what I have done is thinking in short, I made sure that for the classroom people, 3 classes are online. So after 3 classes, you don't get it. So in a week, in a given week, you get only 1 class online. That is what we basically give you. So it's up to you. You take in a week 3 times, you take whatever, but you in the overall course session, you get only 3 times. That's the max. Okay. So look forward for that. So you use those very diligently and intelligently. That is what I give. But if you see the logistics that and the fee structure that is for an online and classroom is very, very different. So classroom is almost the half of your online classes. So online people almost pay you the double of the classroom people. So there is a lot of difference between online and classroom. So we cannot give you all classes online. It is like people who are giving online classes, we are not doing any justice to them, right? So that's about the online classes. Okay. So I think let me go through this. So we have classes, duration, notes, groups, projects, and videos. So I think, and apart from this, there are a few people who do ask us like, uh, how about if I cannot make this session. I cannot make this. I already went to 10 classes. I missed this. So what next? So we give you the opportunity for the next 6 months to attend any number of classes. You don't feel bored of seeing me. You don't feel bored of listening to me. Join again. No problem. We don't say no to you. Okay. So you can join my batch or you can join my other team's batch also. So currently, uh, we have 2 locations. We have both one in Amirpet and we have one in Kukatpalli. We started newly in Kukatpalli. So this is our first class. So basically speaking, you can go for any time, 6 months, anytime you can come to the class any number of times. So we are not going to stop you. Okay. So I think this is the generic information I wanted to provide to you guys. Okay. So any queries here? So any generic queries that you want to ask before I dive into the technical part of it? So I want to ask you some generic questions. If you ask me any generic questions, you are always free to open. So I'll shut my mouth for 2 minutes, okay, and I'll open a question and answer session. So any queries, people online, people here, you want to ask any kind of question, anything you feel like relevant, feel foolish also ask me, no problem. Yeah.
So is the class for all 7 weeks, 7 days a week?
uh who is it?
Shashank.
Yeah, Shashank, can you be louder please?
Yeah, is the class all 7 days a week or is it only on weekdays or weekdays?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so the classes are basically only on weekdays for now. So see, I have a particular target for every week. Okay, so initial first week I won't scratch you too bad, but initial first week I'll make sure that we get in sync with each other. Like I don't want people telling that Santosh, I don't understand your slang. You are way too fast. You are talking too technical. We don't want all those things, right? The first week I'll be I'll be taking one hour session. Okay. Uh, and every week I have a target to complete couple of classes. Let us say first week I have a target to complete 4 classes per se. I'm happy if I'm completing 4 classes, fine, I'll leave you guys. But if there is a target where I want to cover 4 or 5 classes and I could only complete 4 classes by Friday, or I feel that I'm lagging behind, so I will update you at least on Monday, stating that guys, we are lagging behind and we need to plan our Saturday Sunday together. So I will tell you way ahead, even before your Thursday starts, so that you can plan for your movies or whatever. So you'll plan accordingly, where I'll tell you a week ahead, or at least on a Wednesday, wherein I will tell you like what are the times you will have your classes. Okay, so that again depends on whether we are covering the our number of hours in a right way. It all depends. It sometimes depends on batches also. Now sometimes we have batches where people ask numerous questions. It's not few questions, it's numerous questions. So handling that particular kind of batches, it kind of becomes kind of fun, right? You feel like telling them more and more, and sometimes what happens is we lag on the topic. So at that time we kind of hit onto a Saturday and a Sunday. But it's very rare opportunities. I'm not a guy who basically work on Saturdays, Sundays, but for see, I say that 3.5 weeks to 4 weeks is my deadline. So I make sure that, see, it's not that I'm doing the first batch. I keep on repeating it. I did 62 batches. Now I know how to push it to 4 weeks. And I know how people accept it also, right? So yes. So I think Shashank, I answered your question.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks.
Any more questions? Mahesh, Shindu, any questions from your side? A good name, please. Pavani. Yeah, Pavani, any questions
No,
from your
no.
side? No? Yeah. Any questions? Yeah, we do cover advanced topics. I'll tell you, I'll come to the technical part of it. I didn't touch it yet. So generic questions first you ask me. Like any generic questions that you want to ask me. Anything generic, okay? How do we come here? What about the notes? What about the fees? You ask me all generic questions, not technical questions right now. So first close all the generic questions, because once I get into technical, I'll be very technical. So I want to first understand what
Hello.
is your generic stuff first. Any generic question. Yeah. But
Okay, what is
as
the
far as your
fees?
question is concerned, I'll come to in the technical part. Yeah, Sindhu, you are saying something?
What is the fees? Hello.
Sindhu, you are talking
Hello.
something. I cannot hear you.
Yeah, what is the fees amount that you are charging?
Yeah, what you can do, Sindhu, you can. I think Ramya or Chatterjee will get in touch with you. They will talk regarding the fee structure. So that's a good question that you asked. So I'll let you know. So there are two
Okay.
things. One is technical part. So anything related to technical, you can reach out to me. Okay, and anything, any other thing like fan is not working, whether the classes are there today or not, what is the fees, like I didn't get the notes. So for all these things, this is non-technical stuff. So we get in touch with Ramya or Chatterjee. Okay, so these are your friends for the whole of your program. So your friend, guide, tutor, whatever you call, these will be your sole guide. So you have to have their numbers loaded into your mobile phones. Okay, so they will be the one who will be taking care of every other queries, like your fee structure, everything. Okay, so they will be the one who will be contacting you guys. So once after the class is over, Sindhu, you can get in touch with Ramya or Chatterjee. They will try to get in touch with you, at least if the feedback case. So just get in touch with them and know what are other questions you have. Yeah.
What are the timings of the online course?
It's the same time, Sindhu. Every day, like we'll start around 6 and we'll go till 7:15. So today is the demo class. So after demo class, we start the very next class. So there is no break. Like we say, like okay, it's not like a Bahubali trailer. Like I say, like it will come in the next year. Not like that. So we started the trailer today and we start the classes the very next day, right? So today is the demo. Tomorrow we'll have our classes. So you can always take the freedom to attend the first 2 to 3 classes, then decide. Okay, so there is no hard and fast rule that you have to decide on the very first day. So take 1 or 2 days time and then decide accordingly. Okay, yeah. Any more questions, Sindhu? Are we good?
No, nothing. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, you have to ask all those questions to Chatterjee. Okay, so once you go outside, Chatterjee will be there. You can just talk with them. Okay, yeah. So that's good enough. Any more queries, guys? If not, I'll jump into the technical areas. Okay, I'll take it as a no. Okay, so let's go to the technical areas. Okay. Yeah. So I'll walk you through these technical areas line by line. Okay. So the first thing first. So if you look into this notes, so this notes is just like I have prepared way long back. Okay. And if you see, this is still Python 1.0 documentation. So initially I thought I'll keep on updating the documentation to 2.0, 3.0, but the minute I started taking the batches, I realized that it's a very heterogeneous batch. The people who come here are you are not from the same domain. Now there is somebody who is from a web development. There is somebody who is from, let us say, we have some people from SharePoint. We have somebody from Azure. We have somebody from different areas. Now Python has itself been into multiple things, right? So Python is something like where we see Python in almost every sphere of life nowadays. Everyone talk about Python automation only. Now, when you talk about those many things, now satisfying everybody is a big challenge for me. Like I have to teach you something which fits every other audience, right? So if you ask me, did you or is this course relevant there? I can say yes, it's relevant. Now, if you ask me, in the way associated with this organization, I took around good like 62 batches. Before associating with this organization, I have taken good like 10 corporate trainings, and apart from that, I have some online sessions also where I've taken for people in different regions of the world. So if you round it off, it is good like 90 to 100. So I'm nearing something like Tendulkar only, right? So if you basically notice this, so I'll try to introduce myself at the end of it. But so if you look into this whole thing, so this hasn't happened in a day or a two. So this is out of the constant feedback that we get out of the people. Like there are people who always keep on asking us feedback. Okay, so they say, Santosh, looks your content is good, but why don't you add this? Why didn't you add something? So I'll give you some examples. Like when we started initially, so we had only till functions. So this was what we had initially. I was teaching only till functions. Now the rest all topics which you see right here down the lane, so these all are simply added. These are added out of feedback. I'll tell you, there was a guy who actually approached me and told me, Santosh, why don't you teach about Pygames? Really, it's fine, buddy. You want to go towards Pygames, but not everybody is interested in gaming, right? Why do I teach gaming? So you understand, right, what I'm trying to say? I'm going to teach you how to cook, but I'm not going to teach you how to create a biryani. I'm not a recipe guy. I'll teach you just how to cook. I'll tell you like you have to put water, you have to put rice, you have to do this, you have to do that. Now what you make of that rice, whether you want to make biryani, pulao rice or fried rice or veg fried or biryani, I don't know. So that's up to you. So that's what you have to cook. So that is what I'm going to teach you guys here. Okay, so I'll walk you through the sessions one by one in a minute. Okay. So if they see the first 2 units, walk with Linux and editor in Linux. So I would always recommend you people to basically start using Linux based operating systems. Now I would recommend you people to use Linux Ubuntu or Linux Mint. Now that setup is also being done by us. You don't need to screw up your systems. So we will get up the necessary setup. So if you have a look at it here, see this? So this is just a virtual box for us completely. If you basically notice, it's a virtual box. It's a Windows machine. On top of it, we have a virtual box. Now if you ask me, can I only do Python on a Linux based operating system? The answer is big no. Python is a platform independent, which means it has nothing to do with the platform. Platform is for our convenience. Like I know Linux, I'm a Linux guy who have been working on Linux for good 13 years. And if you ask me how do I open a sound-based settings in my Windows system, it becomes very hard for me. I'm not a Windows guy. I'm a Linux guy, right? So what I tend to do is I want to make sure that I basically go for Linux in a very nice way, right? So similarly for you people, if you ask me, Santosh, can I basically go for something called as Windows-based operating system uh, for my Python-related programming? Yes, you can do that. There is no stopping you. Okay. Now, but that said, the industry standard right now is you should know at least basic Linux commands. Okay. So what I will do throughout the course is I'll be talking and walking you a bit about the commands of Linux so that it becomes kind of easy for you and you can very well go over it. Now, the third question, why Python? Right now, this is a very good, beautiful question that we ask about. So I'll surely take some time to ask you people something relative to about each of you. So I'll ask you three questions. Okay. So just a minute, guys. Okay. So I'm going to ask you three questions. The first question is your name. So I won't, guys, believe me. Okay. So I won't remember your names. The second one is about your, do you know programming? Okay. The second question is very simple. Do you know programming? Now, if you have done Hello World at least once in your lifetime, you know programming. So you can just tell me you know programming. I'm asking you this question because there is a relevance for this. And this question, what motivated you? This is a very simple question, right? What motivated you to sit down here with me today, right? So I'm not a hero or somebody, right? You come to see me at least for next 1 hour, right? Are you people online are you don't have any other work that you are listening to me, right? It's not that way, right? There should be some motivation, right? Like I wanted to build an app, or my friend suggested me. I felt like there are a lot of jobs in Python, something like that, something relevant, okay? So people online, what you can do is you can take your turn one by one, and you can let me, you can answer it. If not, you can even type your answers. So it's very simple thing. I can see your names, so we don't need your names, but you can tell me if you know programming, what is your domain, you can talk a bit about it, and what is your motivation to come here. So I'll start with the classroom people. Yes, Pavani, yeah, Pavani. Okay, so you have an idea about Python. Very good, very good. Next. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay, okay. Right, good. So you have already an idea of Python and you want to play a bit with Python. Okay, good. Nice. Next. Yeah, Sharani. Okay. Yeah. Want to learn Python? Yeah, good. Let's go to Sindhu now. Good. Thank you, both of you guys. So let's go to Sindhu now. So what Sindhu has for us? So I know programming and working in CPP technology. So felt like Python support for adding me to my profile. And Python also has good options. Good one, Sindhu. Good one. Yeah. So nice. What is CPP? Can you just elaborate it further? Like I don't know what is CPP. Just want to know about it. Yeah. How about other guys apart from Sindhu? Shashank, Mahesh, someone?
Yeah, yeah, I am a Linux administrator.
Mahesh, is
So
it Mahesh or
I,
Shashank?
Shashank.
Yeah, Shashank, tell me.
So yeah, I'm a Linux administrator. I have worked before with Cisco, so I thought I would learn scripting now, so to make my profile stronger.
Yeah, good, excellent. So when you talk about Cisco, right, Shashank, so we have this latest things, something like called software-defined network. So integrating your
Yeah,
network functionality into the Python areas. So we have so many such tools, like you talk about Contrail, Juniper Contrail, and a lot of other kind of tools that we talk about. So these all are written in Python nowadays. So yeah, that is a very good choice that you have made. So I see like Sashant is basically a network kind of a person, more into the administration side. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. How about Mahesh?
Yes, I have been working with GIS and remote sensing industries since 2005,
Okay.
and Python plays major role in GIS industry. So that is only my motivation to
Okay.
join
What
the
is GI? Is it AI or GI you are talking about?
no, GIS, Geographical Information System.
Ah, super, super, super. Okay.
Hello.
Right.
Hmm.
Nice. Nice, guys. So we see people. I think, Mahesh, do you have anything else to add up?
No.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. So, fine enough. So, if you see now, why I asked you this question, the very minute I told you that you all are from different domains, none of you are from the same domain. Agree or not? So we have somebody who is saying CPP, we have somebody who is saying who's a network administrator, we have somebody who is saying that he is from geographical, something he wants to do relative to something map, latitudes, or something like that. And we have people who are from web development. So there are so many people. So if you see, there are a lot of people who are coming from different domains and they're sticking to Python. Now, why Python? That's what we have to see now. Okay, so give me 1 minute. Right. So this is your main site, and if I just go to the, sorry, not this. This was not what I wanted to show you. Yeah. So if I go back to the success stories of the python.org is your parent site. If you look at the success stories, it looks like more like a college, right? So do you see this? Arts, business, education, engineering, government, scientific, and software development. So which means most of the cases we all talk about software development, right? We can do it in scientific, government, engineering, education, and business and arts also. We can use Python everywhere. That is the beauty of it. That is the reason we have such a heterogeneous way where we want people from different domains wanting to learn Python. Now, if you say like Python is a new thing, no, Python is not a new thing. Python is a very old. It's a grandfather, 1990. It's born in 1990. It's already like 27 years. It's very old, right? So you see, Python has been there from a very long time, and now we are trying to understand how Python works and whatever, right? So this is what we are planning to do. Now, what I will do is I'll walk you through this right now. So if you ask me why Python, let me tell my version of why people are so much into Python nowadays. Now, first thing, the most important thing is Python is a very friendly language. Like you can learn it very easily. Second thing is it's a full-fledged object-oriented programming language. Now people ask me, I have Ruby, I have Erlang, I have R, why Python? Now that is the question, right? Most of the times people ask me. I'll say why Python is because one of the biggest things that Python has done is Python has been part of this infrastructure related stuff from a very long time. You talk about Linux based operating systems, everything is on Linux. You talk about any backend console, anything. Most of them are Linux and Python is inbuilt into that. I want to create a Java based application. I have to first deploy. I want to do a cloud computing. How many machines I will install Python or Java? Python is inbuilt into Linux. Whereas I have to install Java or Ruby or whatever I want, added things separately. Now that is not something I can do. So that is one of the advantages with Python. Now why Python? People are literally going to Python because it's already inbuilt. You don't need to worry about it anymore, right? And more importantly, it's an open source product. Now we'll talk about what is open source tomorrow, not today, but that's fine. And next, if you next basic thing is it's nowadays the next automation that is going to happen is at the infrastructure level. It's a infrastructure level. Now, infrastructure in the sense you are talking about reducing the number of data centers. You talk about cloud computing. You talk about big data analysis. You talk about network virtualization. You talk about network functional virtualization. What that is what I was saying. NFVs, right? So you're talking about virtualization at every layer. Now, I have spoken about a lot of big things. Now, storage virtualization we are talking about. We are talking about SaaS, software as a service. Now, software as a service is a big thing, right? You go for Google Drive and do a lot of other stuff. So everything can be automated. Everything has, you can do all these kind of stuff with Python. Now, that's the beauty of it, right? Now, so I just wanted to walk you through that. Now, setting up Python in Linux. Maybe I wrote setting up Python in Linux, but I will teach you about how to set up Python. Now I have read good around 12 to 15 books on Python over the last you can say like not 3 years, maybe it's good like 7 years. I have read only 12 books, right? Reading 12 books is also not fun. Okay, it's technical books. It's not storybook, right? So if you ask me, all the 12 books what I have read across, I have come across one thing that is very much missing. Everybody talks about variables, everybody talks about strings, numbers and everything. Nobody talks about what should I start with. How do I install Python first? Nobody talks. What is the interpreter? Nobody talks. What are the different interpreter types? Why do we need to use an interpreter? What is so difference of Python with other programming languages? Nobody talks about it. But that is what we are going to do in the unit 4, which I feel like it's been missing in almost all the books that I have seen. So here I'll be teaching you something called as IPython, BPython. What is IPython notebook? What are the different editors we talk about? What is the basic requirement that is required in an industry level? What do you mean by we talk? I may not be stressing more into a lot of the areas, but I'll be talking about what is agile methodology. I'll be talking something about what is waterfall model, where we fit into Python areas and everything. Okay, that is something I'll teach you in setting up Python and Linux. Unit 5 is about help. Now you may ask me, why on the earth this fellow is teaching us help, right? So the answer is very simple. Is if you people don't understand about help, or if you don't know how to take the help, it will be very not so easy. Like for example, say okay, so let us say I have a string and I want to convert my string to uppercase letters. So what do you do? Most of you do open Google, say how do I convert my string to uppercase letters? You go to some Stack Overflow, copy it, paste it, done. If it works, you're gone. You're away from the desk and you drink a cup of tea and you again go for chatting, right? So the basic idea is, did you ask yourself this simple question? How on the earth that fellow knows and I don't know? And is it the only function, or do we have any other function? Do you ask yourself these all questions? Rarely, right? So believe me, most of the people don't look into this area of help, where even without using a Google, you can very well do coding. Now people say that, okay, without Google we cannot do coding. Yes, it's somewhat okay. You are looking at somebody else's logic, or you're looking at somebody else's code and you're just copying it. But it should be that next time you should not be again looking at the Google. You should not be very much dependent on that. How do you make it work? That is what I will help in this particular area. All right. Now next is the unit 6, variables, expressions and statements. Now when you talk about variables, expressions and statements, this is very, very basic. Now when I tell you about this course, I'll start from very, very basic. I'll start from very ground level. Even people who don't know programming, they should be able to, right? So you'll be learning about what is integer, what is float, what is string, what is how do you print them, how do you take inputs. These all things we'll be learning. Okay, variables, expression, statements. And this is one more question which most of the people do ask me, Santosh, do I need to learn other programming languages to learn Python? The answer is a big no. You don't need it. So people say, do I need to know C programming to learn Python? Obviously not. C is a different language, Python is a different language. Why on the earth you want to learn C? Means person who is actually doing that is actually selling his C programming to you. He's giving a one more offer to you, right? So that is not required. Next is control statements. So when I talk about control statements, there are two things. One is conditional flow, which is if it rains today, I won't come. If not, I will come tomorrow. That is what it is. And then we have something called as that is called conditional flow, and one more called as recursions. Recursion is nothing but looping. So looping in the sense you want to repeat a stuff multiple times. So that is what is called looping. So we use for loop, while loop, and everything. Now coming to the data structures, in the data structures we have lists, tuples, and dictionaries. Now believe me, there are a lot of other things also, but at least for you to start coding, you need to know what is list. So list is a collection of data, a homogeneous or heterogeneous collection of data, right? But lists are not equals to your arrays, what you do in other programming languages. Now array is called as numpy. We call it as numpy. So let me show you that too. That's fun. Yeah, right? We are good? Yeah, I think we are good. Okay. So these are the ones. Okay. So we have numpy. So if you see, like numpy is a base and dimension array package. You talk about 2-dimension, 3-dimension, n-dimension, that is a numpy package. That is called as arrays. So if somebody is asking you, do you know arrays? And if you nod your head like this, means you are saying you know numpy, right? So be careful. SciPy library is for scientific computing. Okay. Matplotlib is plotting graphs. You see the cricket matches and everything nowadays going on. You see the chart graphs and everything. So that is basically your Matplotlib. You talk about IPython. IPython is enhanced interactive consoles. You talk about SymPy, that is symbolic mathematics, and you talk about Pandas, that is data structure and analysis. So these are all the things that are part of your big data analysis. So if you really want to learn big data analysis, we have a separate course for this. So this is not included, and not everybody needs to know this also. It's very simple. So if you're a guy who is saying that, okay, Santosh, I want to be a data scientist in the next 5 years down the line, what are the modules I need to study? These are the modules you need to study. Okay. Now this is one of the areas which has taken a huge jump for us. Okay. Now, what is tuples? So tuples is a read-only list. What is a read-only list? Means you cannot modify the list, right? Now my question is, why do we need a list which we cannot modify? Any idea? Tell me one thing in generic life which you feel that you should not modify. If you modify, something bad will happen, and you feel that it should not be modified at any point of time. Now same thing in the programming. I am defining something and it should not be modified by anybody. Now what, can you give me some examples of few things which should not be modified? Calendar, exactly, very nice one. Calendar. Now in a month, if I put 40 days, how will you feel? You have to wait 10 more days to get your salary, right? It's not a fun thing. Forget, say I put 2 Mondays in a week, what will happen? You are going to work 6 days, right? Few people are going to work 6 days to 5 days more, right? That's going to be a lot of problem. And think about, you all go to Jabong, Flipkart, Facebook, or let's say Jabong, Flipkart, where you go for shopping your clothes. Now suddenly, out of a male and a female, you get a third gender there. How do you feel? Oh, what on the earth is happening? Which category do I belong now? Right? It's a big question, isn't it? So you don't want those kind of challenges. Now that is what is called tuples. So tuples are very, very important. So just creating a list or just creating a data structure which can save data is not very important. What is important is, can you create data structures which should not be modified also? That is what is tuples. So we'll talk more about it when we come into the classes. Now the next part is dictionaries. Now what exactly is dictionaries? Okay, so dictionary is a key and a value based. Now for example, see, list and tuples are index based. Index based means you have numbers, like say fruit. Fruit of 0 is apple. Fruit of 1 is banana, something like that. But take an example, not always indexing helps for us, right? For example, take, like I have a key and I need a respective values associated to them. Values could be duplicated, but keys should not be. Like your Aadhaar card. Do everybody have the same Aadhaar number? No, you all should have a different Aadhaar number, right? Now let's take a very simple example. Aadhaar is a very complex thing for our heads. Take about your schools. You have a school, you go to your school, and what happens? You have a number, roll number, right? You have a separate number for your school, right? Whenever you go in future, you say, hey there, this is my roll number. Can you identify I'm the guy? So they will identify, yes, you are there. You are part of our school only, right? That is something that happens. Now, these kind of things are some things which I basically want to be there always. Like for example, say you go to school, you go to college, you want to create something which are, I want to create few things which are very related to keys, like social security number in USA, Aadhaar card number in India. So these all things fall into the dictionary categories. Now there are a lot of other data structures, but believe me, you don't need all data structures to start with. Okay, so I have just put it down to 3. The next part is functions. Now what are functions? Why do we need functions? Anyone? What do you mean by functions? Yep. No idea. Now see, sometimes we write code which is repetitive, right? So you write the same code again and again and again everywhere. So what you can do, you take that particular code and put it as a block and only call it when you need it. So that is called as a function. So function is nothing new. It's there in already all other programming languages. Now what we'll learn here is how a function works in Python. So what is how a function works in Python? How do you pass the arguments to it? What do you mean by default arguments? What is how do you pass dictionary based or key based arguments to that? What is local scope? What is global scope? What is how do you pass arguments using star, 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 star arg, star, star, KWRGS? what is map, filter, lambda. So these are the different things. Now the advanced concept of function is decorators. Now decorators is a very beautiful concept that we can learn across, but we'll do it when we'll come there. Now next, what is modules? What is modules? Anyone? Anyone having idea about what is a module? So let's take some example. I have a program P1 which has a function F1, F2, F3, F4, F5. I have 5 functions. Okay. We lost a function 3, but we may not need it. It's fine. Now, I wrote my function 1. I wrote my function 2 inside the program P2 about to write function 3. And I realized function 3 is exactly similar to what I wrote in function F1 of P1. Function F1 in the P1 program is exactly similar to what I wrote in my F3 of the P2. Now, the question being asked is, what do you do? What do you do? You copy from there and put it here. Huh? That's what you do? Or what do you do? Is there any other way? At least when I started doing my programming, I did the same thing only. I copied the code from there and put it here. The big fun part, what will happen after that, when you copy that, you have to change a lot of names, you have to change a lot of variables, you have to do a lot of stuff. A lot of headache will be there.
You can inherit it, right?
Because this variable will touch that variable will touch this variable, local space clashes, global variables clashes. So a lot of code change has to be done. I don't want those all headaches. So what I can do is, I'll go for a very simple use case where I can say I want to import p1.f1 means reusability of the code. So I have a way by which I can call the function f1 from the program p1 into my program p2. Now that is the benefit I'm going to get. So that is called modules. Now if you talk about modules, so let's go to our python.org for a minute and I'll show you how many modules we have. Okay, so let's go back. So we call this as PyPy. I just want to set your expectations right. Okay, see this, how many modules we have. If you're good at mathematics, you realize that it is already 1,09,919 modules are there. Now let's do a small calculation. I learn one module per day. Which means what are these modules exactly? Why are these modules here? Now say I have done some project, like say I have done some great work like reading from Excel sheets and writing into Excel sheets. I wrote a Python program. Now I don't want everybody have to write the same, right? They can use my program, right? So what I will do, I will upload it into this location called PyPy and I'll make it a package. So people can start using this. Now believe me, there are so many modules related to everything. You talk about Scrum in your big data. You talk about Pig module in big data. You talk about SharePoint modules where you want to get into the SharePoint and write something into the SharePoint. You want to do authentication. You want to do web frameworks. Everything you can do. Now, let's do a small calculation now. So let's say I do one module per day. How many modules will I do in 5 years? Yes. Simple mathematics, right? 300 into 5, how much? 1500. Few other days are left. Let's make it 1800. So in a 5-year span, if you thoroughly do every day one module, how many you are going to cover in 5 years? Only 1800 modules. And in the 5 years, what will happen? This 1 lakh will become 5 lakhs. Simply. Okay. So if you're thinking that you're going to learn all the modules, it is a
Hello?
full shot. You should not do that. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, Sindhu, tell me.
How much time it will take?
Let me see. It's 7, right? I think it will take more 15
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah, more 15 minutes. Yep.
Okay, I'll continue tomorrow. I need to get back.
Yeah, it's fine. Like we can send you the recorded sessions. If you have any other work, you can just log off. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yep. So good enough. So if you see here, like all these modules that we have, right? So I was talking about modules only, right? So you can, in a overall your span of the whole Python learning, you'll max learn 10 modules only, not more than that. So you have to concentrate on your domain. That's it. So don't concentrate on how many modules Python organization is doing, how many modules are there. You don't need to worry about it. So what I'm going to teach you in modules is, I'm not going to teach you how a module, how to install a module, how to use a module. I'll teach you how to build a module. So I'll be teaching you how you can build a module from scratch, or if tomorrow if you get a new module, how will you learn it from scratch? That is what I'll be teaching you. So in depth about the modular area. So that is what we'll be learning tomorrow. Okay. So okay. So that was about modules, guys. So next we talk about files. So files are called as uh, files we use for different purposes, for saving data, for reading data. You talk HTML file, .text file. You talk nowadays about web scraping. Web scraping is a big fun thing that is happening nowadays, right? That is also files only. Where HTML is also file. You're reading from a file, right? So how do you deal with files is something which I'll be teaching in the files chapter. Exceptions. What are exceptions? Yeah. Exceptions are nothing but errors. Like sometimes you hit on a submit button and it gives an error. Now what is that error? What is that error? It's not always a syntax error, because you get a syntax error. It could be something like you are looking for a number and the person gave an alphabet. So that is an exception. You never treated it nice way. So what if you get that kind of errors, right? So that is called QA, right? That is what we do in QA phases. But sometimes we miss that. So let us say, take an example like we have a Flipkart site which has gone to China, and none of the Chinese people have English keyboard. They are you going to use Mandrake and Hue keyboards. What is going to happen? Your site is going to sleep the very first day, right? So how do you deal with that? We never tried that, right? Because let us say my development team is in Hyderabad and Bangalore and my QA team is in Chennai. All of them are using English keyboards only. Nobody's going to use a Chinese keyboard, right? So what is going to happen? We are going to lose it. Okay. So how do you deal those kind of exceptions is what we'll deal in exception handling. Okay. So we'll deal with try, except, right? Cache, what you call it as in other languages. So try and cache is something that we do in Java and also Perl. But here we have a different thing. We have try, except, else, and finally. Okay, we'll do that. Next is regular expressions. You have a bulk of data and you want to capture all the email addresses, right? You all play Facebook games. Now you send invites to your friends, right, automatically. So what is that? The basic idea behind that is, in one or the other way, you people, the particular app, the programming app which has run there, it has collected all your friend email address. How did it know? It was a pattern matching. All it knows at the rate only. So it picked up this side of the world and that side of the world, and it picked up that email address for you, right? So that is those kind of stuff you can know, like a regular expressions kind of a thing. Like if I say, if I write a small app which is asking you to come to a movie, will you come to a movie? So you have to say yes. Now if I ask you how many combinations can we have with yes, how many combinations, permutations, mathematics, plus 2 mathematics? Remember how many permutations, combinations you can have with yes? Why yes? 2 to the power 3, 8. 8 combinations you can have. Means if I have to write a conditional based programming, I have to put 8 conditions, which is hard, right? Uppercase y, lowercase y, everything I have to deal with. So what I can do is I can write a regular expression pattern which states that if my answer is somewhat similar to yes, make it pass. So if I'm going to say y, if I'm very lazy, I say y, also still I'm going to go to movie. Nobody is going to say no to me. Okay. So that is what we are going to do in regular expressions. Classes or object oriented programming. One of the reason half of you people left programming, right? But believe me, object oriented programming is one of the most fundamental and most fun things that you can learn in programming world. So you talk about abstraction, you talk about polymorphism, you talk about encapsulation, you talk about inheritance. These are all things you can do in your classes. So classes is the most fun part that you can do. Okay, so we will all deal with that in a nice way. Now debugging in Python. So sometimes you write code which is syntactically correct, logically wrong. You want to see step by step. So how do you do that? That is called as debugging. Now next we'll go for logging. What is logging? Uh, Tell about some sites which give you $1 billion revenue. Tell me some site names. Tell me some sites which give you $1 billion revenue. No site? Google, okay. Any other site? Only Google. What else? Facebook next. Flipkart, Amazon. They don't earn anything. They earn peanuts. Okay. You forgot about our Indian Railway, IRCTC. Believe it? Just 1 hour they earn all the revenue what Facebook and everybody earn in just 1 year. That much of revenue they generate. Now think your IRCTC site got down at 9:30. What is 9:30? 10 o'clock is Tatkal, right? So much money. People just book ticket and cancel ticket, you'll get all the money. If you book a Tatkal ticket, if you cancel, you will not get money also. So one person doing that, oh, one person doing that, and 100 people doing that, how much difference, how much money you're going to get, right? Right, 9:30, what happened? Your site went down. And that fortunate day, you are the great person. So what you will do? You have to give the solution in 30 minutes where exactly the error is. Now, are you going to do debugging there? No. Your manager will be right on top of your head telling solve it. So how do you solve it? So you should have a mechanism by which you should be monitoring each and every event that is happening through a programming level. Now, programming is not anymore about writing a calculator. It's the integration of everything, right? You call it as a chart, right? A chart is what? You put some chana, you put this, you put that, you make all everything, right? So programming is kind of a chart only, right? So what exactly you're doing when you do that, you have to tell where exactly the program failed. Did it fail at the application level? Did it fail at the middleware layer? Did it fail at the storage area? Did it fail at the load balancing area? Where did it fail? And why did it fail? That is something that we need to figure out, right? That too within fraction of seconds. I'm going to lose billions of money, right? A lot of money I'm going to lose. I'm not going to lose small 2-3 rupees. I'm going to lose a lot of money. So how are you going to do that? So for that, we have something called logging, and logging is something that every programmer should be knowing. Okay, that is what we'll turn there. The next is called sockets. Now sockets is something which is called as you talk about WhatsApp, you talk about Google Apps, you talk about chatting and everything. So these all things are something what we cover in socket program. CJ and databases. Now CJ is a front end part of your, nowadays we all talk about bootstraps, Angular JS and everything. So initially we were never having that. We were having single pages. So that is called a CJ, Common Gateway Interface. So it will be a simple web page, and back end there will be one program which will be running. Now you want to save the data into something like your databases, or maybe send it to as a mail or something, you can do it like just like your contact page. You all see the contact pages, right? You go to the contact page, give your contact, submit, and it should go as a mail, right? So how do you do that? So for that activity, you need to always you need to know this CJ and databases. But this is just an introduction for you to know about there is something called as CJ and database areas. But basically, if you're really interested to go to the next level, like you want to build something like a Facebook, Twitter, or something, you can very well go for other courses that we have, like Django is a web framework. Now, Django is something in demand for people who are very much interested into going into web designing kind of stuff. Or you are a fresher and you want to quickly get into a job, or you are an experienced person who want to create dashboards kind of a thing, so that your upper management can look what is happening. Now you have infrastructure which is about 10,000 servers, and you want to right away know in a click of a second how many servers are down and how many servers are running up. So you need a dashboard for that. You cannot always do command, right? So yeah. So those all kind of stuff you can do it using these all things. Okay. Now the last unit, so what's now? So we are almost done with our technical part now. So what's now? Now we are done with good 30 to 45, 30 to 35 hours of duration of our course, along with all the stuff and everything. And you may ask me, Santosh, I'm almost done with my whole thing, but where do I go now? Okay, I'm very clueless. That is where the so what's now comes into picture. So here I will tell you what you need to do from here. So here, whatever you learned in this particular 22 chapters, this is almost equals to 2 years of experience in Python. So I can give it in written also. It's a 2 years of full-fledged experience that you're going to get in 30 days. So it is not a fun thing. So there is too much of flooding that is going to happen into your head. So you need to be ready to first take it, digest it, understand it. But sometimes what happens, you may not be able to do it in 1 month. So you need some time to start doing things like you need to learn some books, you need to go through some videos, you need to do few more courses. So for all those kind of things, I'll be teaching you in So What Now. So What Now is something like a a parting notes for you guys in the last 30 minutes once our course is done. So that is what we'll do in So What's Now. So this is exactly what we basically do for our whole program. So I'm very much done with our the technical discussion part. Okay, so this is what we are going to have, and tomorrow will be our first class at 6. Okay, so I would so I will take a pause now, and I want to ask you guys if you have any specific queries. Okay, in between I forgot to introduce myself, so I'll just take it a minute to introduce myself. So my name is Santosh. I have an overall experience of good 12 plus years experience. Okay, so I started as a Red Hat trainer. Okay, a Red Hat corporate trainer. So I was into training for good initial 2 years. So I got bored of that. So later I joined into a organization which is more into the databases. There were so many acquisitions which were happening for that company. So uh, I started with operating systems first. So I started with the Linux, Solaris X, HP Unix. Then I got into databases like I did MySQL, Oracle, Sybase, Informix. You talk about any database, I played with all databases. Then I got kicked into the programming world. So I started with shell scripting. I did Perl. I did Python. I actually started with Django. I screwed up that application. Then I realized that we have something called Python, which is a internet-based language. So it's a different thing. So I learned that. So that is how I ventured into programming. So after 3 years from there, I kind of resigned there. I got into one more company, which is more into a banking sector. So I was very much into writing a lot of beautiful tools about automation. So I was more of into an engineering space. So where I would deploy, I would write automations, I would create deployment docs, everything. So if something goes from my end, if any issue comes down back to me, it will be like a fire which has already started, and there is nothing left out. So that is when it comes to me. So if there is an issue around good like 20,000 to 30,000 servers in an organization, that is when it comes to me. So already the damage is done. So it has a huge damage that is being done. So that is the level that it will go to if there is some mistake in the kind of automation stuff or in the deployment stuff that I write or do. So that was a perfect job. At least I did it for good 5 years, and later I resigned that too. I got bored out of it. Then currently I'm working in a profile where I deal mostly with software defined networks, more into the network clouds. I deal with OpenStacks. I play with this open clouds and everything. So more into the DevOps environments, cloud environment, and the networking environment. So it's kind of a very you can call it as a very complex environment, which needs a lot of automation skill set. It needs infrastructure knowledge. It needs you to keep on learning new things every now and then. So that is my profile, guys. Uh, so yeah, so that's an introduction about me. So during the session, you can call me Santosh, Kumar, or whatever you feel. Okay, so you can just treat me just like your other friends who just know a bit more than you, right? So you can be very free to me. So that's about today's session, guys. So I will mark it as done from my side for at least today. So I'll open the question answer session for you guys. So let me know if you have any specific questions. Yeah, any questions, guys? People online, people here, anyone? Mahesh and Shashank, any questions from your side?
No.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So no questions from both of you. Okay, good. Any questions from here? No, all good. Okay, so we will again meet tomorrow, guys. So if you have any specific queries, get in touch with Ramya or Chatterjee. Okay, so if you have any specific feedback, like you don't want to attend the class further, that's fine. Just give them honest feedback. Okay, we won't call you, neither you get disturbed by us. So it's a very simple thing. So don't disturb yourself, don't disturb us also. So if you are very good with the classes, if you have any other queries related to your related to the fee structure or anything, just get in touch with Ramya and Chatterjee. And at the same time, people online, Chatterjee or Ramya will get in touch with you. If you have any specific queries, just get in touch with them. Okay. And I'll mark it as a day for today, guys. So any more questions, guys? Mahesh and Shashank? If not,
No.
no, right? Okay, guys, thank you. So let's meet again tomorrow at 6. Okay. And have a
Sure.
great day. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.